What's going on there, YouTube? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great and wonderful day, despite all the propaganda that's being promoted in the mainstream media today. And over the past week, I am listening to Infowars.com right now, and there's a guy on there substituting for Harrison Smith, who comes on first thing in the morning. And it's really sad. Actually, you know, I'm really kind of fighting with these thoughts in my head right now. And I believe that there's a possibility that certain alternative media sites are being used as misinformation purposely by the good guys that are behind the scenes. Now, obviously, we know there are bad guys behind the scenes, and there have been bad guys behind the scenes since, well, at least since World War II, in our recent history, and there have been bad guys behind the scenes for a long time. And for a long time, by a long time, I mean since Jesus flipped the tables over in the tabernacle and said, My Father's house is a house of worship, not a house of commerce. Those same people that Jesus flipped the tables over on are the same people that we are fighting today. Literally the same people. The same bloodlines, the same family, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans, all these behind the scenes players. We call them DS, and I said it before, I can't say that phrase on here because this video will immediately get banned. But they have been behind the scenes interjecting and interfering with the will of the people, also God's will, since day one. Now, that being said, that alternative media is possibly being used as a purposeful misinformation campaign to discredit what's going on behind the scenes with the good guys, I still find it appalling that we can't just be told what's really going on. Everything that's happening overseas right now, across the Pacific Ocean, in the second largest country, wait, are they first or second? Anyways, right next to China, south of Siberia. What's going on right there, right now, between these two countries, is, I believe, nothing but propaganda. Nothing but propaganda to distract from what's really going on. I do believe that Putin isn't nearly as bad as the media portrays him to be. Now, that being said, it's really hard for people. See, people are falling for the propaganda, and they have so much hate right now for Russia. And I get it. You know, even people that are in my field of study, which doesn't have a label, you can call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but a truther. Even people that are in my field are coming out as hateful towards Russia and trying to quote-unquote back Ukraine, when really these people have no idea what's going on over there. They aren't there. I'm not there. I don't even know what's going on over there. I'm just saying that most of this is probably propaganda, in which it usually is. Anytime we have all these media headlines popping up with the same exact thing, there is a narrative being pushed, people. It's very plain to see and very easy to find out. Okay, so right off the bat, they're not telling you right now. In World War II, Ukraine sided with Hitler. Okay? They're not telling you that in World War II, Ukraine sided with Hitler. Okay? Remember that. Also in World War II, Russia aligned with the United States and fought against Hitler. Right? I'm correct. And then we found out how brutal the Russians were, blah, 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 in history, and then we backed off and we weren't friends with them anymore or whatever. So that's the textbook's history about it. In all actuality, Hitler was placed in power by these people behind the scenes. Hitler was Time magazine's Man of the Year in 1933. When we went to war, the Allies, the United States, we didn't know that there was all this Jewish holocausting or genocide going on. We didn't find that out until like 1941 or 1942, maybe 1943. We entered the war, I believe, in 1941 after Pearl Harbor. And if my dates are off, you get the gist, okay? I might be off a year or two, or I might have the exact dates, but I'm pretty close. Anyway, Ukraine sided with Hitler. And also in 1942 or 3, the United States brought back how many Nazi scientists? These scientists were not friendly scientists that were being forced to work by the Nazis. These were evil, mad scientists that were actual Nazis, okay? Ukraine sided with these same people that we brought back over here. And some other scientists were taken into the EU. Okay, so you have these three places where these scientists and these major Nazi collaborators were brought back to. And basically what you're seeing is this continuation of Nazism from World War II. From World War II. You're seeing the continuation of Nazism behind the scenes, not in the front, because they can't point a gun at you and say you're going to do this or you're going to die, because we wouldn't do that, because that's what happened in World War II. They tried pointing a gun at you and trying to say you're going to do this or you're going to die, and we fought back. So they changed the narrative to a coercion, to psychological operations, to divide and conquer, the oldest known ways to defeat a country in the world. So Ukraine is still this way, and the media is telling you it's a democracy. The United States has slowly but surely been moving towards that same direction over time. The United Kingdom has slowly but surely been moving in the same direction over time. Slowly but surely, these Nazi ideals have been interjected into the government and have been slowly being adopted into law. And people have been psychologically attacked by the mainstream media because they own the mainstream media. That now they're trying to gain the will of the people, they claim to have the majority when in actuality they only have the minority. Now, that's true. You cannot refute that. You can't say, oh well, that's not true because this and that. No, literally, Bill Gates' father worked for the Nazis. Literally, George Soros was doing some stuff as well. And I don't even think I can say that on here. The Rothschilds were a Nazistic Jewish family. An elite Nazi Jew family. And I know it's hard to say Nazi and Jew in the same sentence or try to associate those two with each other, but George Soros was a Jew and he also was right? Slowly but surely this has been happening. And so behind the scenes people have been using Ukraine as a hub of their laundering. They've been doing their laundry with green bills in Ukraine for a long time. Clintons, Bush, Obama, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans, Soros. Soros was just recently kicked out of Russia. Russia and certain people in the United States, I believe, are working together to defeat these evil people. On the media, they tell you that NATO was coming in. NATO is basically full of Nazis, okay? And NATO was coming in trying to annex Ukraine. Russia said no. You're not going to do that. So then they had to resort to force because NATO went back off. And Zelensky, I believe, is on board with Russia. And all this stuff right now is a distraction because I believe that certain people are being taken care of. And I pray to God that's what's happening. I'm not sure this is what's going on, but I think that's what's going on. But I hate to see alternative media pushing the narrative when they're supposed to be the ones promoting the truth. Okay, so with that being said about the alternative media pushing the mainstream narrative, now I'll tell you some more evidence of why I say this. So the examples of the destruction coming from over there have mostly been BS. And you guys can go look this up for yourself. The videos and pictures of the examples of what's happening over there are literally from movies, old war stories, and also video games. That's just one example. Another reason why I think this is happening is because there are rumors coming from other sources saying that certain things have been destroyed and certain people are being taken care of. So those are the rumors, along with the videos of the fake destruction, right? So that's why I think that if the thought that this behind the scenes good guys are taking care of stuff is true, then then the alternative media being used as disinformation would hopefully be true, because if it's not, that means that these people are also on board with propagandizing the masses to divide and conquer. Or, there's a couple different possibilities here, so I'm not saying that I 100% fully heartedly believe that this is happening. I'm not wholeheartedly saying that this is happening. I am just saying that this is a possibility. What I am 100% saying is that everything you're seeing on the mainstream media, and including alternative media, is propaganda right now. It's very easy to see propaganda. Propaganda is flashy. Propaganda is wild. Propaganda is attractive and awesome. Propaganda is not only those things, but it is also widely distributed. So anytime you see something flashy, wild, enticing, awesome, and widely distributed, mostly carried by the mainstream corporations, you can almost bet 100% that it is 100% false and propaganda. Not that nothing is happening, but the actual story they're telling you is propagandizing a situation in order to further a narrative. So I really hope, because I don't like being lied to. I don't care if it's for the greater good. I don't care if it's for the benefit of this or that. When they say that it's for the greater good or for the benefit of this and that, what they're telling you is that you are stupid. That you are like a child and are incapable of handling the truth. That's what they're saying. They're saying that you're not capable of deciphering this information in an adult fashion. When in fact the propaganda is usually more emotional. So I'm not saying that I believe 100% in any of this that I said. I'm just saying that it's a possibility. And I'm just saying that the propaganda is true, 100% true. It is being used against you. It is being used against everybody in the world right now. And if you can't tell it's being used to attack your emotions, then why are your friends saying, I side with Ukraine, I side with Russia? You see what I'm saying? What they need to be doing is really looking into the history of Russia, the history of Ukraine, what has happened since the Bolshevik Revolution, what is going on in this country today, and why would this be happening considering all those pieces of history. Anyway, God bless you. God bless America. Stay happy. Most importantly, stay free. And please do not give in. Do not capitulate. And do not comply with any more illegal mandates. God bless you. God bless America. Stay happy and stay free.